Okay, and then lastly, Psalm, the largest book of the Bible. There's a lot going on in the book of Psalm. Sometimes this book can feel hard to read because it's so long. It's 150 chapters long. That's a long book. And it's not a chronological story, the book of Psalms. So like each chapter is its own collection. It's like its own writing, its own poem or message or song or a complaint. There's plenty of complaints in the book of Psalm, people complaining to God. And God didn't just, zap and wipe them out. God listened. He was there with them in that moment, in that complaint. But there's 150 collections in the book of Psalm, and there's a lot of poetry and symbolism and feelings, and it's not as easy to follow as a story can be. So it can feel challenging to read sometimes. The shortest and longest chapters of the Bible are in the book of Psalm. The shortest is Psalm 117. It's only 2 verses. 2 verses, shortest chapter in the Bible. 2 verses, the longest, Psalm 119, 2 chapters later. It's 176 verses long. 176 verses. That'll be on the Kahoot, so listen. Both of those chapters are about the same thing. They talk about God's Word. The shortest and longest chapters both talk about God's Word. And there's a bunch of different authors. David wrote a bunch of Psalms. You've heard of Moses. Moses wrote a Psalm. Solomon, Ethan the Ezrite, Asaph, and a lot of the authors we don't actually know who they are. So if you like psychology at all, you will like the book of Psalm. If you ever wonder where God is in your life, when you're feeling anxious, you don't know what the future holds, or you have a big decision to make and you're kind of teetering between a few options. If you have confusion or anger or sadness, Psalm will remind you you're not the only person to feel this way before. That God cares about you, and God cares about having a relationship with you. If you've ever felt happy and joyful or angry at God or sorrow, you feel like you have no choice but to trust in God because life just feels out of your control, you can relate to the people in Psalm because Psalm is a book of many emotions, all of the human emotions. And God meets these people where they're at. He doesn't tell them, hey, straighten up, and when you're done being mad at me, then we can talk. God says, I hear you, and I see you, and I care about you. Poetry books show us it's okay to bring every emotion before God. You don't have to have a mask on when you're talking to Him. You don't have to pretend everything is okay. God just wants to meet you where you're at. And that's really the message we can draw from those poetry books in the Bible.